not sharing his screen properly, but I think you'll be able to find everything on the handout. So, Wichita State University is located in the largest city in the state. So, what is that city? Wichita. Wichita Falls. We're part of the Kansas Board of Regents, so there's 32 universities and colleges in the state of Kansas, 7 universities. So a lot of times you'll hear students say that they applied to KU or K-State or those universities. So it's important for you to understand that KU is not University of Kentucky, it's University of Kansas. We have Kansas State, Wichita State. Those are the 3 research universities in our state. And then we have 3 smaller universities, Fort Hays State University, Pittsburgh State University, and Fort Hays State University. Those are regional universities in the state. And then 1 additional municipal university in Topeka called Washburn University. So those are the main universities in the state. And then the rest, let's see, 25 community and technical colleges around the state, making up the Kansas Board of Regents system. So that's our higher education system in the state. So the unique thing about Wichita State is it's in the largest city in the state. We have about 700,000 people in the metropolitan area. Our major claim to fame is that since we're a large city with a bunch of large employers, we're a large aircraft employment sector, I guess if you call it. So all the airplanes that you fly on are built in Wichita. So we have Boeing and Lear. What's that place of Boeing? What place of Boeing? Spirit, Cessna, Learjet, Bombardier. All those aircraft companies are headquartered in Wichita. And so when you get on these airplanes that you fly on, you need to think of Wichita because that's what the connection is in terms of the jobs in the city. So because of the fact that we're in this large city, our students are able to get hands-on experience with employers. Unlike some of the other cities where we have University of Kansas and K-State, those are small college towns, and so students don't really get the kind of experience that our students do in terms of getting hands-on experience working with those employers. So our mission at Wichita State University is to be an essential educational cultural institution. So we're driving the economy in the state. And then, as I've alluded to be nationally recognized as a model for applied learning and translational research. Most of that research is focused around the aircraft industry. So go to the next slide. We have about 14,500 students. We're expecting anywhere between 600 and 700 additional students to our campus. That's a big growth for us this fall. It's one of the reasons why this project with Blackboard is really important, because we're going to have a lot more new students to our campus than we've ever had before. We have a major marketing effort going on nationally, but also regionally to encourage students to enroll in our campus. Most of our students are full-time, evenly split in terms of male, female, and although there's not as much diversity in Kansas as there is in Texas, we are the most diverse campus in the state. About 65% of our students are white, the rest of them fit into various other ethnicities. Go to the next slide. Most of our students who do study currently at Wichita State are from the region. So Wichita and the surrounding counties, which is in south central, sort of situated in south central Kansas. About 11% make up the rest of our students who are international students or out-of-state students. We have one of the largest populations of international students in graduate programs in the state, mostly in engineering. A lot of countries represented, particularly from the Middle East, that those students come and study our STEM, science, technology, math disciplines. You can see there our mix in terms of undergraduate and graduate students. Fairly average ACT score of 25, SAT almost 1,200. In terms of our academic programs, we have 7 colleges and with 58 undergraduate degree programs. I'll go over each one of those here in just a second. 42 master's programs, a specialist degree in educational psychology, 12 doctoral programs, and 1 associate degree program. So I think the next couple of slides, why don't we skip over that particular slide. These are our programs by our college. So we have a pretty good mix of programs in our various colleges. We're very strong in engineering and the health sciences. Those are 2 major focus area of growth in our campus. It's probably similar to other campuses that you might be familiar with. We're known for our aeronautical programs at Wichita State. We have a very strong aerospace engineering program. But our other engineering programs have very strong enrollment, so we'll be interacting with a lot of students from those disciplines. Our College of Education is also noted as an exceptional college of education in the state. Wichita is home to the largest school district in the state. It's close to 50,000 students. So we have a lot of opportunity to train students, lots of hands-on experience in our local school districts. There's also a lot of suburban districts around. So collectively in the entire part of South Central Kansas is where most of the kids in public schools are learning. So very strong area there. Go to the next slide. Our College of Fine Arts offers the typical kinds of things that you'd see in music, performing arts, fine arts. Very well connected to our community. This college has a symphony, and members of the faculty play in our Wichita Symphony, which is a very strong symphony that you may interact with students about, have questions about. But pretty much the College of Fine Arts is connected throughout the community in the local arts. Our College of Health Professions is noted for some very strong programs. The Physician Assistant Program has 1,200 applicants every year, and they only accept 48 students, so it's a very competitive program. Similarly, the Physical Therapy Program is highly sought after. We also have a dental hygiene program, various nursing programs, all the way to the doctoral level. Communication Sciences and Disorders offers the college's own PhD program. And then we have a Department of Public Health Sciences. That college is at capacity, so students may be calling in frustrated about why their application's not being reviewed or they're not being accepted. So that's something that you might want to keep in mind as you go forward. Our largest college is the Fairmount College of Liberal Arts and Sciences, and that's home to the behavioral and social sciences, the natural sciences, the humanities. They also have programs in social work, and psychology, community psychology, clinical psychology, and so forth. Also in that college, we have pre-professional programs that students can major in: pre-law, pre-dentistry, you name it, they're listed there for you. Our Barton School of Business, also a very strong college with master's level programs, Masters of Business Administration, but also some very strong programs in accounting, finance, and marketing. So, any questions so far about any of our academic offerings? Is there anything that I'm missing that I should be pointing out? Okay, yeah, I didn't say about the honors college. We have a new college. I mentioned we have 7. We have a new college called an honors college and a new honors baccalaureate, which is basically an undergraduate degree focusing on basically a multidisciplinary approach, which is developed by the student and their advisor. It's one of a kind in the United States. It sort of follows that international baccalaureate that you may have heard about in high school programs. It sort of mirrors that in a college setting. So it's for gifted students or students who want to design their own kind of undergraduate degree program. So you'll hear a lot about that going forward with students who are interested in that program calling in, asking particular questions about that. There's a website that will, on our webpage, or a link to our from our main webpage that covers that pretty well.
And the AUGD?
So,
The AEGD.
yeah. So we also have something that I doubt you'll have a lot of questions about, but we have a residency program, a dentistry residency program that's similar to like a medical residency that you'd see at medical schools. It's for dentists that have actually completed their dental degree. They're actually doctors, and they come to Wichita State for a year to complete more in-depth training on what it takes to be a dentist, learning how to do implants, more than just one root canal. I was horrified to hear that dentists are trained, when they're trained in dentistry, that they only probably do 2 or 3 root canals when they're in dental school. And they don't really learn how to do that until they, you show up to their offices. So, so they obviously need more training on some of these more complex procedures, and that's what that dental residency program provides. That's not going to be a program that folks will be enrolling in just right out of high school. You have to be a dentist to do that. But you may have questions about it. If I missed anything else. So, talked a lot about the fact that Wichita State's located in one of the largest cities in the state. Our campus is about 330 acres, basically a half square mile, has a golf course. It's a really nice campus, lots of trees, has one of the largest outdoor sculpture collections on any campus in the United States, and some really noted artists. So it's sort of a park-like environment, a really nice place to study. Lots of places in Wichita to eat, shop. We have all the major chains and stores, and getting a Whole Foods Market, a Costco in the next year or so. So you should come visit sometime, doesn't it sound so interesting? We have a really nice zoo. It's one of the top zoos in the country. And what you'll hear, if you read about it on the website, you may hear people talking about sort of our claim to fame. I've alluded to this already. We're in an urban setting, so we're the only university in the state that's in an urban setting. And we can provide those extra benefits for students when they're studying and when they connect with employers that you won't see in other universities, at least in our region. So you'll see a lot of hear a lot of talk about that, see a lot of about that on our website. Go to the next one. We also have some satellite campuses. Southwest campus, the South Campus is located in Derby, Kansas. We have a couple of unique programs there. We have an accelerated nursing program that has a lot of coursework down there. I think social work has some courses down there. But there's also just regular offerings of a general education program down there. The West Campus is the largest satellite campus, obviously west of the university, located in Mays, Kansas, and we have several hundred students who take courses out there, and then when they need to focus more on their major coursework, they come to the main campus. Our downtown center is really just the physical therapy department. It's not an opportunity to take courses downtown unless you're in that program. And then we have something called the Metropolitan Complex, which is about a mile from our main campus, which is basically a conference center. If you want to know the nitty-gritty about this particular, it used to be a mega church. Do you know what that is? One of those big churches that they built all over the place. And that church went bankrupt, and a donor gave it to the university, so we converted it into a conference center. We also have a couple of clinics out there. The dental residency clinic is located there. Also, we have a speech, language, and hearing clinic at the Metroplex. Lots of classroom space, but mostly it's used for conferences.
Your campuses, will all of that feed into the one stop for financial aid information?
Yeah, they're all connected. Basically, we consider all these satellite campuses as a part of our main campus. Wichita is not that big. We don't have separate administrative structures up there. It's basically just locations for students to take classes.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, so that's a good point. Lori's reminding me of these things. A big sort of controversial thing that you may hear about from students is parking. And on our main portal, we'll have a article that covers this. We've made huge changes just within the last few weeks about parking. And one of the things I'm going to talk about here in a second, we're also building a new dorm that took up the largest parking lot on campus. So it took away 750 spaces right in the center of campus. So you can imagine what students think about that. They're going to have to walk further. It's going to take them longer to get to class. They're going to be late to class or whatever. Last year we put a new shuttle system in place that sort of circulates around the campus, and then it goes to the Metroplex where there's a free parking lot out there. But that requires students to plan ahead, get to school earlier, park there, get on the bus that will take them to our main campus. So you'll hear lots of grumblings about that. The students are also going to have to pay, unless they park at the Metroplex, which is free, they're going to have to pay for parking, which really is sort of a misnomer. They've been paying for parking all along, but it was in their fees. Now they've taken that out of their fees, and they're going to see this a separate parking fee if they choose to park on campus. They don't have to. They can park at the Metroplex. It's free. But you'll hear lots of grumblings about that likely when students are calling in. We'll have an article addressing that, and it'll just be important to reassure them that we have this great new bus system, which it is really a good system. I've taken it, I use it when I need to go to the Metroplex or get around campus I need to get to quickly. They're nice buses, nice new buses. They got the Woo Shock on them. They're really fun, and free wireless access on those buses as well. So sort of pluses and minuses there with parking. The students in reality have been complaining about parking on our campus since, you know, the early times when people started driving to campus, you know, a long time ago. That's nothing new, but this new process for parking might bring some questions that you might have to address. So here's another little opportunity to get some excitement in the room. So whoever raises their hand first, tell me which one of our teams went to the Final Four. Well, it's really easy now, kind of.
1965.
Okay, so that's close, but there's another team that's gone to the Final Four. What year was that? I'm going to let you get a prize because that's good. 1965, WSU's men's basketball team did go to the Final Four, but in 2013 they also went to the Final Four. And, okay, so once you get a prize. So, another question. This year, what did one of our teams, I won't get the team, the sport right this time, what did they do? What special thing did they do? This may be too hard.
I know exactly what you're talking about, but yeah, they might not.
So, does anybody know?
Give them a hint, like
Tell them the team.
What's that?
Tell them the team.
Tell them the
Okay.
team.
Okay, so the men's basketball team did what this year?
No other team.
They made history, but do you know how they made history?
Is it by attending the Missouri Valley's conference championship?
Well, yeah, they did win the Missouri Valley Conference Championship, and the first time they won that in many, many years. But they did something else that's even more special than that. I'll just tell you. They went undefeated that no other team has done going into postseason play. They actually went 35-0 before they lost they lost to Kentucky by 1 or 2 points. It was a buzzer beater, and they were expected to be sort of blown out of the water, and we really held our own. So we're really, really proud of that. So we've had a lot of success in our sports teams, and one of the things that you'll probably are likely to hear about is how successful the basketball team has been in the last 2 or 3 years. So that's something to note and to recall. So, oh yeah, I heard about that. Yeah, even though you may not follow sports, acting like we do is always a good thing. We also have a pretty successful baseball team. They won the College World Series in 1989, and they've been in postseason play every year after that, except recently, but they still have a very strong record. We have very good athletic facilities, a new basketball arena, a newly refurbished baseball stadium, and then pretty much all the different venues that support all of our teams are pretty nice facilities. We're a Division I school, but we don't have football. So probably not a good idea to say to anybody who calls in who might be interested in sports to say, yeah, football season starts in a couple of weeks. Well, we don't have a football team, and that's a real controversial subject on our campus. They closed the football program back in 1987, but sort of the beginning of the end in 1970, the football team was traveling to a game, I think in Utah, and the plane crashed and killed a lot of the players and coaches and boosters. So we have a memorial on our campus that sort of celebrates that. And ever since they closed the football program, there's been this sort of conspiracy theory in the city of why they did that and why we can't bring it back. And so there's a whole bunch of undercurrent about our football program. So just something to note. We also have a very strong volleyball team. Our bowling team, although not a Division I program, it's won 19 United States Bowling Congress Intercollegiate National Championships. Very, very successful bowling program. Our women's basketball team has had a lot of success in the last couple of years. They've had postseason play in 2013 and 2014. Head coach is Jody Adams. She's been very successful, as well as our rowing team. And you can see our other teams listed there in that slide. We also have different athletic programs for those that don't play in Division I sports that are listed there. You can go to the next slide. In terms of student life, we have major transformations going on campus right now. We have just completed, or almost completed, a renovation of our student center, the Radigan Student Center, which is Student Union pictured there. State-of-the-art facility, beautiful facility, and that opens officially when school starts. You go to the next slide. Well, go back to the previous slide. We also have a new dorm that I mentioned earlier that took place at that 750-stall parking lot. It's the first new dorm that we've built on campus in 50 years. It's a beautiful facility. It's a 5-story facility with a new dining hall. Built right in the center of campus, right next to the student union. And so that also opens in a couple of weeks when school starts. So it's actually going to transform our campus because we've primarily been a commuter campus, but we're encouraging more students to live on campus. And with our new facilities, our student union, our new housing facilities, our one-stop, we're hoping that students will see it as more of a place to stay after they finish classes instead of going back home, or actually living on campus if they haven't decided to do that in the past. Okay, go to the next slide. To help with orienting our students, we have an Office of Transition and Orientation, and we have all different kinds of orientation programs, whether a traditional student, a transfer student, a returning adult students, or online students. This office helps with that process, and then through the first year of the program, first year of students' transition into the university, there's other different activities that they coordinate to help them stay connected, get them to the resources that they might need to help them be successful students on campus. We also just recently started a Military and Veterans Service Center on campus. We're also home, in a community home to a large Air Force base, McConnell Air Force Base. So we wanted to reach out to those students, particularly those that are veterans, and we just opened that facility and we're getting ready to name it after one of our graduates. We got a Congressional Medal of Honor. We're going to have that grand opening later on in the semester. So getting back to the housing and residence life, as I said, we are opening this new dorm. It's called Shocker Hall. It's full to capacity. So So we're very excited that there's a lot of interest in students who want to live on campus in this new facility. It really is a very nice. I'd live in there if I had the opportunity to move somewhere. It's really a very nice facility. I think some of you all have seen it too. The exciting thing about it is that they're building a new dining facility that's going to be accessible to us too, staff. There's going to be a coffee bar there that's going to serve. Sheila's sort of the coffee connoisseur of the group here, so we'll let her decide whether it has good coffee or not. But there's all kinds of other different amenities that will be available to students that I think will encourage excitement on campus. Okay. With this new dorm that we're building in the center of campuses, we're developing new living learning communities of various types. So living learning communities associated with a student's major. So each college has a living learning community that focuses on health professions or engineering or one of the other areas where the students live together, who have that common major, and they study together, and work with faculty who have that interest as well. So yeah, we're very excited about that. We hope that's going to also help encourage and influence our retention rates, keep people interested and not get lost in the shuffle. There's various different kinds of meal plans on campus, and we have a website that we can point you to that will cover that more in detail. So, anybody have any questions about the university in general? Yes.
What is the overall success graduation rate?
So we have a retention rate of about 74%. So that's freshman to freshman retention rate. And our graduation rate is about 46%, 6-year graduation rate. So that may sound a little bit low to you. In comparison to KU, theirs is about 60%, K-State, Kansas State is about 50%. We have a goal, and one of the things that we hope will help is this one-stop to help with retention, keep students connected. We have a goal to increase our retention and graduation rates by 10%. So that's would be 80%, we're about halfway there, and 50% for graduation rate. So that's a good question. Blackboard is real central to helping us move that retention upward. Any other questions?